Welcome back inside the Patterson Ice Center on Cougar Puck Radio. My name is Matt Gajtka, as you might know by now, as Catholic Central has won 4 games in a row and aiming to make it 5 this afternoon against a rare opponent, one they don't see very often. It's the new co-op squad, the Huron Valley Titans, which is a combination of White Lake, Lakeland, and Mildord. Those 2 high schools contribute players to the Titans, who are 5-3 and state ranked on the last poll in Division III by the Michigan High School Hockey Hub. However, the Titans were 5-0. Now they're 5-3 as they've dropped 3 in a row, including a shootout loss to Forest Hills Central yesterday on the first day of this West Michigan High School Hockey Showcase, which is presented to you by Baking Steel. Yesterday, well, speaking of the shootout, your Cougars picked up a win via the tiebreaker, but it took a while. A marathon shootout, 11 rounds, and wouldn't you know it, 2 players who had combined for 1 varsity goal in their careers to date in Caleb McLean and Jack Reynolds. Well, they were called upon late in that shootout, and they both scored on consecutive shots. McLean scoring to extend the shootout, otherwise the Cougars would have lost after a 10th round goal by the Bay Reps' Zach Gerlando. But McLean scored, and then Jack Reynolds scored after a miss from Bay Reps. Reynolds burying it, and it was a wrap indeed for Jack Reynolds and the Cougars as they made a winner out of Jacob Aaron, who allowed just 2 goals on 11 shootout attempts. Noah Onstadt also continued his onslaught offensively. The junior defenseman, now 4 goals on the year. He scored a power play goal in the second period, the Cougars' only goal of regulation, and then he also scored in the shootout, tally that was matched by Bay Reps, hence the need for all the extra frames in the shootout. So the Cougars, well, I was going to say they're now 4-2. They're actually 5-1 technically, as a decision was handed down by the MHSAA. Riverview Gabriel Richard, which was the opening opponent this season for Catholic Central, they have to forfeit that win they picked up against Catholic Central by the count of 6-3, as they had an ineligible player, and they self-reported that to the MHSAA. So the Cougars are technically 5-1. They picked up another win while they slept last night, essentially. Time for the national anthem here from Patterson Ice Center. Cougars versus Titans in just a couple of minutes. Stay with us on Cougar Puck Radio. All right, just about time to drop the puck. Huron Valley led twice yesterday in that shootout loss to Forest Hill Central. By the way, the Rangers just put 9 goals on Salem on this very same rink. So the Rangers win both games on the weekend. Catholic Central trying to match them. No team has won 2 games so far on the weekend outside of Forest Hill Central. It's amazing in high school hockey. In the span of about 24 hours, you can pile up a couple of wins, and you're feeling a lot better about yourself. Not that the Catholic Central Cougars need any boost right now. They've been playing well the last couple of weeks. They came from behind to win here at Patterson last Saturday against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern, and they won yesterday 2-1 officially in a shootout against Bay Reps. So trying to make it a 2-victory weekend. And Ten Harmsel looking to meander his way through center, unable to do so. The play broken up. Nate Dell breaks back in. Centered shot, saved by Aaron. Just got a glove on the chance from Craig Borges. Less than a minute in, and a penalty on the way. High sticking the call by the referee down to our left. So Borges nearly scores on the setup from Dell, and now Dell goes to the penalty box for high sticking. 25 seconds in. Quite the turn of events. You go from thinking you might have built a lead very quickly to now being shorthanded. Catholic Central did convert once on the power play yesterday. It was a penalty-laden game against Bay Reps, although the Cougars were short more than the Bay Reps were. Heminger tries to lasso the puck, can't get there in time, and spun out of the zone high in the air by Gavin Hewitt, senior D for Huron Valley. The Titans have lost 3 in a row, as I mentioned, as the Cougars can't get their motor going. So Morgan Pastelli, the senior defenseman, clips it up the far wing. Dozema apparently got a deflection on it, so no icing. But it's pumped out of the zone again by Huron Valley. Austin Scanlon this time took care of it. Huron Valley in the dark blue with the light blue and red trim. White helmets, the Cougars. White jerseys, their home uniform with the blue helmets. Cooper Moss bangs it in deep. Behind the goaltender for Huron Valley. And hold on that, I was going to introduce him, but Killian Voorhees breaks back shorthanded. And he's dispossessed by Ten Harmsel, who surrounds that puck and filters it out the near side. Moss whacks it to himself, but turned it over. And cleared by Levi Weinberger, number 91. 12 players have at least a point for Catholic Central. There's Noah Onstadt, the defenseman, who leads them in goals and points so far this season. He added his 4th goal of the year yesterday afternoon. It comes right to Onstadt. Nearly had a chance, but poked off his blade. High in the zone, held in by the captain, Isaac Kappinga. 18 seconds to go on this power play. No stoppages during it, so it's running out quick. Carlander watches as Ten Harmsel gathers, shoots, deflected in! Onstadt points back to Ten Harmsel as it ended up settling into the net behind goalie Henry Stewart, and it's 1-0 Catholic Central. And that's a good bingo for Casey Ten Harmsel. 14:41 to go in the first period. Ten Harmsel's first of the year. So it hits something, but I think it might have been a Huron Valley stick in front of the net. I heard a sound, a little click off a piece of lumber. But Onstadt was right there. He seemed to think that the last Cougar to touch it was Ten Harmsel. 2 power play goals in 2 games so far on the weekend for the Cougars. And they make the Titans pay for the early penalty. So Nate Dell Had to watch from the box as that one went in. Somehow, Lucas Kintz chips to the far corner. Kicked along by Ten Harmsel. And he's feeling it now. He plays it on to Reynolds. Good pass to Caleb McLean, who scored in the shootout yesterday. McLean still in search of his first regulation goal as a member of Catholic Central. But hey, that one kept the game alive. That one's as good as any. In fact, better than most, considering the high leverage situation. Cougars lead it. Ten Harmsel's power play goal has staked them to the early lead. Kintz nearly gave it away cross rink. Scanlon scales it in, but right to Gavorkian for Catholic Central. Alex Gavorkian, junior defender. Looks on as it's put right to the net. Saved by Aaron on the opportunity for Preston Harvey. Out high, a shot by Scanlon that's blocked in front. And Carson Carlander clears it high off the glass and right in on net. That's where Stewart has to play it along. So Stewart, the sophomore, gets the call in game 2 of the weekend for Huron Valley. And he goes up against the senior, Jacob Aaron. Aaron's stats on the season: he's got a .950 save percentage and a 1.17 goals against. It's been an outstanding start for the Cougars' second year starting goalie. Right to the front of the net and ushered out of danger by Heminger. A no-nonsense clear off the boards. And Parker Moore has got to go back for it in his own end as Huron Valley simply chipped it right back in. Flicked ahead by Gavin Hewitt into the clutches of Kappinga. But he's run off by Weinberger, who gave it right back to Gavorkian. The two teams play catch. Heminger intercepts a pass at center. His feet in the skates of Gage Potter, who did well to catch it. Deflected feed right to Heminger. Now back to Moore, and he whips the shot wide right. Follow the bouncing puck if you can. Moore guides it ahead. Pulled in by Carson Rowland. Up the far side looking for Voorhees. Here's Voorhees. Oh, he nearly had his line mate for a breakaway chance. That was Mikey Yee. Yee spelled Y-E-E. And a whistle and an offside. It took a while to blow that one dead. Voorhees leads this team in assists with 9, tied for the team lead in points with 11. Levi Weinberger as their top goal man with 8 in 8 games. So keep your eye on number 91 when he's on the ice, and he is right now. Right-handed shot just in front of our camera position at the moment. Moore's backhand hit Weinberger. Ricocheted over toward Ten Harmsel. Out of the corner. Blind pass by Voorhees, intercepted. Colon up to Berkmeyer. And he rolls the puck just wide of the Huron Valley net, and the goalie, Stewart, wisely allows it to go for icing. 11-13 left in the first period. Catholic Central up by a goal. Henry Stewart on the year so far, an .867 goals, save percentage, 3.87 goals against average. Yeah, an 8 goals against average wouldn't be very good. Aaron makes the stop on the stuff try on the backhand side. And now right out in front, another opportunity for Zane Austin. He had that first chance, he gets a second chance, misses there. Pass in front for Austin, he couldn't flag it down. Great delivery by Vince Gajtka, but just couldn't get his stick down, could Austin. A partially blocked shot by Pastelli, ends up in the clutches of McLean. He finesses it toward the net, right through the crease, nobody home in a white jersey. Austin, can he clear? He will. Cohen Potter digs in. Potter had an early breakaway yesterday, but could not beat Tyler Boynton Fisher for Bay Reps. It was a goaltending kind of game yesterday. Just one goal apiece through regulation in what became a shootout win against Bay Reps, the co-op team out of the Traverse City area. Carlander slugs it all the way below the Huron Valley goal line. Oh, and a backhand pass. Nate Dell's away. Partial break. Hands off. Aaron, another stop. Fantastic save on Austin Scanlon, who looks to the rafters. Couldn't believe it. Dell gave it to Scanlon, but he could not beat Aaron. With 9:53 to go in the first, the Cougars goalie is once again standing tall. He was great yesterday. He's been even better to start this game. Off the face-off, whipped on net by the captain, Nate Dell, and Aaron blockers it away this time. Here's Jackson Dozema, pushing the pace down the wall. Turned up the boards by Alex Johnson. In the possession of Scanlon. He had a stick break on him. Good break, pun intended, for Catholic Central. See if they can take advantage of it. Cooper Moss gets tackled out of the corner. Centering pass from Carlander, hit a skate. Now he gives it out to Moore. Wrister rejected right there at the point of release by Craig Borges. Another break back. Here's Dell. He shoots it high. Might have jumped off the shoulder of Aaron. Hard to tell from this angle, but Nate Dell has gotten loose several times already, and the Cougars have to find a way to keep him under wraps. Rush chances galore for Huron Valley, but they have not been able to convert. 9 minutes and 11 seconds remaining in the first period. Just the one penalty so far. Catholic Central capitalized on it. Deflected ahead. Gage Potter, the freshman, chasing after it. Thought it was instructive that Gage Potter got the call first in the shootout from Coach Kyle Marchand yesterday. And of course, Catholic Central had to go pretty far down the bench, down the priority list, if you will, in that shootout. But it was McLean and Reynolds who played hero late. Very late. As late as you can get almost, before you turn it over and start giving players second chances. Angled wide of the goal. Aaron looks over his shoulder. Stuff try Weinberger. Rebound, score! No, it was stopped. Sorry about that. I thought it went in. Or did it? No, it did not go in. It was stopped. Excuse me. Voorhees, I thought he put that in. Another save for Aaron. It's been incredible as he keeps the 0 on the board. And I thought I saw arms go up in the air from Huron Valley. Excuse me for that. Oh, ye of little faith. I thought it was in the back of the net. It was not. So Moore gloves it down at the front of his net. Moore looks up. Great pass. Onto the tape of Carlander. Deals it into the skates, though, of Morgan Pastelli. He's got to break back to try to tie things up. Dozema helps free up that puck. Pass from Moore to Carlander, and he couldn't get by the red line. Solid defending from Lincoln Howell. Moss under some duress. He takes it backward as Modica forces him behind his own net. So still 1-0 Cougars, but they turn it over in the slot. Austin can't get the shot away. Solid defense from the Cougars to rally to the cause. Pass across Scanlon. Well, Huron Valley looks dangerous when they have the puck early in this one. Here's Potter. He takes it back. Best way to defend sometimes is to have it yourself. Cohen Potter's drive. Sails high and wide. Into the corner. Reynolds gets the forecheck. Potter to McLean. And he just jammed it off target from the left faceoff circle. Ten Harmsel shoots. Gloved and kept by Henry Stewart. And no further play. 7:05 to go in the first period. Fresh bodies out there for the Titans. The Cougars keep their fivesome on the ice. Potter on the drop of the puck. Strong bottom hand to win it away from Scanlon. Ten Harmsel again, letting it rip. This time it's blocked to the corner. Loose at center, Scanlon just barely stayed in play, high off the boards. Back down behind the Cougars' net. 10 Harmsel, can he clear? He cannot. Borges got in the way of that. Borges a big frame forward. Out to the top, Scanlon, wristing off a leg and just wide. Doherty down the boards. The defenseman gets involved, but McLean did not clear to center. It stayed in play on the blue line. Dell's pass out high. A wrist shot by Brethauer. And that missed the goal, possibly deflected. McLean back on a 2-on-1, but he couldn't get the pass across to Gage Potter. It was blocked by Brethauer, who got back. Dell pokes it into space. Away from Moore, slicing inside. Hammer shot from Brethauer, missed on the full slapper from 45 feet out. Good action, both ends in this first period. Under 6 to play. Onstadt gets his head up. Here he comes. Finessed it off the stick of Weinberger. Turned over. Heminger down the slot. Shot blocked over the glass by the diving Riley Joyner. That's called emergency defense right there. Keeping the score 1-0, preventing Heminger from getting the shot through. Heminger's got a goal and an assist on the season. Heminger, the junior. This is his second season with Catholic Central. Kappinga tried to go forward off the faceoff, and it does pop loose to Gage Potter. Potter, number 26 in white, joined by 16. That's Kappinga. Heminger whips the shot just off the tip of the glove of Stewart, who awkwardly reached across his body to try to save that one. That seldom works out well for a goalie. Tipped ahead by Weinberger. Into the corner, Yee couldn't center. Off a Cougar's stick. Back out to the top. Heminger reaching in. Good play to pop it loose to Onstadt. He's dragged down. And a penalty against Huron Valley again. Onstadt drew it, holding the call against the Titans. And Catholic Central gets a second look at it. On the power play. I believe that's number 28, Brian Meager, who's having a seat. And Catholic Central gets the face-off from the right face-off dot. But hold on, the power play time not on the board, and yes, it is. Brian Meager, senior forward, who's got to watch as his teammates try to kill off the penalty, but Pastelli unable to hold that. Bouncing puck at the blue line. Pastelli hustles back to take it, not wasting any time. Morgan Pastelli soaring it over the blue line. The Cougars are entrusting their D to rush the puck. A lot more this year than in previous seasons under their new bench boss, Kyle Marchand. Snapper by Moore, save made by Stewart through traffic. And he stops the music. 1:28 remaining on the power play, 4:23 to go in the first period. Kappinga, Carlander, Moss, Onstadt, and 10 Harmsel. That's the power play fivesome for the Cougars. 10 Harmsel's shot from out by the blue line, redirected high and out of play. We'll do it again from that same circle. So 10 Harmsel on the board. That makes 4 out of the 5 Cougars defensemen who have goals so far this season. A steal, Nate Dell surging back shorthanded, hooked from behind by Onstadt, save made by Aaron, and might this be a penalty shot? It is a penalty shot. Nate Dell, he's been a thorn in the Cougars' side in this first period, and that trend continued as he took the puck away ripped it right away from a couple of Cougars. And he draws the penalty shot call as Onstadt got his stick in there to try to disrupt it. He sure did, but I don't think Noah thought that he'd be guilty of the penalty shot infraction. So here we are, Dell against Aaron. Of course, Aaron faced 11 of these yesterday in the shootout, stopping 9. Dell a move, a shot, saved by Aaron off the tip of his glove. Jacob Aaron does it again, and it remains a 1-0 Cougars lead. The penalty shot turned away. And Dell's got to be wondering, what do I got to do to get a point, a goal, anything in this game? He's done it all but score. He's also made a couple of brilliant passes that normally you'd think would result in scores, but have not, obviously. So the Cougars, with that respite, courtesy of their goaltender, go back to work. Onstadt's pass, and it eludes the reach of Ten Harmsel. He was all the way in the middle of the ice, and Onstadt thought he was right behind him at the left point. So turned over to Scanlon. Scoots it across. Harvey played it in over the line. Onstadt recaptures for Catholic Central. Half minute to go in the power play. The Cougars' only goal has come on the power play. No icing here. Moss bangs bodies with Doherty. He's got the puck. Great move. Cooper Moss's shot. Didn't get all the way through. Rebound, score! No! Waved off. They say it didn't go in. Moss says it did. And unfortunately for the Cougars, the only opinion that matters is the one of the man in stripes. Now, he can talk it over with his colleagues, and I think that's what's going on right now. But that was his call, and yes, he washes it out again. No goal. Wow, Moss really believed that that had gone over the goal line. So we've got a couple of false alarms in this first period. One by me, as I thought Huron Valley scored to tie the game, and one by Cooper Moss, as he and I think a couple of his teammates at least believed that puck jumped in behind Stewart, but apparently it hit the post and did not go. Here's Onstadt, dragging it toward the middle, lost control. And Weinberger sends it all the way down the river. Voorhees taps it ahead in the corner. The power play down to its last few seconds. Carson Carlander drives it into the near corner. It scoots around the horn, and one more clear from Huron Valley. They're back to 5-on-5. Ten Harmsel tries to get the forecheck going, and it worked as Kappinga is on that puck. Slips it through. Carlander hit the outside of the net with that wrister from the left wing circle. Kappinga bumped into by a couple of Titans. Fed it back to Ten Harmsel. Took a look. Pass across. More shooting. Blocked by Brethauer. And the defenseman for Huron Valley scales it to center. 2:14 to go in the period. McLean unable to take that pass. Moore gloves the clearance out of the air, head high, lugs it into the attacking zone, but ran into trouble there in the high slot. And the Titans make the Cougars come the length of the rink again. Aerial pass. Reynolds tipped it just enough to avoid the icing. Reynolds intercepts high in the attacking zone. He smoked on a check, but Cohen Potter shot it. Saved by Stewart. It's loose. A stick goes flying in the air, and the puck ends up out of play. Lucas Kintz got run into. I think that was by Reynolds. And Reynolds has a word for Kintz. That was a side swipe hit. Kintz just avoided the brunt of that collision. Just got clipped. And we have a penalty? I don't know what's going on. Kintz threw his stick as he went to the bench. No penalty. Kintz just took his time getting off the ice. 1:30 left in the first. High in the zone, Reynolds couldn't turn it back. So Pastelli has control. Knocked out of the air by Alex Johnson. He powers it off the stick of Moore back in Cougar territory. Moore had it ripped away by Howell. Up the near boards, though, and it scoots to neutral ice. Gage Potter taps it to himself. Rolling puck. And Henry Stewart got the pads over to make the save. And another penalty coming up against Huron Valley. Aaron couldn't make it to the bench before the whistle. Gage Potter retaliated a bit against, I think that's Zane Austin, but I'm almost certain that Austin was the one who was guilty of the penalty in the first place. I apologize, I was tracking the puck, so I wasn't following the action. And now I think Cohen Potter got called for retaliation too. Both Potter brothers are in the box, Gage and Cohen. And this turned from what I thought was going to be maybe a Cougars power play to potentially a Huron Valley advantage with 57 seconds to go in the period. As we wait to see what gets put on the scoreboard, penalty-wise. Two men in the Cougars box, both with the same last name. Kyle Marchand is awaiting the deliberation to finish between the two referees. And so am I, to be honest. What I think happened is Gage Potter and Zane Austin on the Huron Valley side were both going to go for coincidental minor penalties, but then Cohen Potter, can't just use the last name here. Cohen Potter collided with one of the Titans at center ice, sticking up for younger brother, I think, and that may have cost him, though. And the official score getting all the information. Before she enters it into the scoreboard interface. And that's when we'll all find out what exactly is the result of this. Casey Ten Harmsel's power play goal has Catholic Central ahead 1-0, but I have a feeling the Cougars are going to be shorthanded in the final minute of this period. Long chats at both benches. Catholic Central coming in with a record of 5-1, winners of 4 in a row. Well, there's a 5-minute penalty on the board to Zane Austin of Huron Valley. So that's got to be what got Gage Potter so upset. Gage is in the box. So is Cohen. Cohen has 2 minutes on the board now. Cohen the junior, Gage the freshman. All these penalties with 57 seconds left in the first. And it's taken a long time to get it all sorted and all explained to the relevant characters in today's story. Well, if what's on the board remains, we will skate 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and then Catholic Central will have 3 minutes of power play time. And now the Titans bench gets the courtesy of the explanation. Huron Valley head coach Tim Ronayne talking with both referees. Meanwhile, 4 Cougars on the ice huddled around their goalie, talking about what just happened. Certainly. Okay, we've got it all explained. And the referee saying it's going to be a neutral zone face-off, boys, so not a power play for right now for Catholic Central. But it will be after 2 minutes, after Cohen Potter's penalty goes away. I'll keep my ears open for the announcement from the PA. How about we play hockey, boys? Let's do that. 4-on-4 action upcoming with a 1-0 Cougars lead. After about a 3 or 4 minute delay, the drop of the puck, the linesman goes down to a knee. And he gives Morgan Pastelli a little tap. Just saying it's not your fault. 40 seconds remaining. The Titans have it. Gavin Hewitt lobbed up the middle, and Scanlon was bumped into by Moore, closing out his space. But there is more space out there with a player off the ice for either side. Scanlon leaving it back. Roland, top of the right circle. Back below the goal line. Nate Dell. Scanlon overlaps. 15 seconds left. Turned over. Cooper Moss, 1-on-2. Swatted off his stick by Hewitt. Moss to the corner. They joust. Puck free to Scanlon. Couple of seconds left. He drives it all the way down the ice, and the buzzer sounds just as the whistle blew for icing, and it looks like they'll just let the period end. Seems appropriate. So, still a minute 3 left on the Cohen Potter minor penalty. Never heard an announcement, so your guess is as good as mine, but after that penalty runs out early in the second, Catholic Central will have a major power play due to the major penalty against Huron Valley. 1-0 Cougars. 10 Harmsel, the lone goal so far through 17 minutes of play. Back for the second period from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase at Patterson Ice Center after this. The second period begins with Huron Valley in possession and driving it in Voorhees. His pass, errant though, trying to go back to Carson Rowland. That forces Calvin Langolf to retrieve. Langolf to the side of his net. Heminger forced it to the corner. It's a 4-on-4, remember, so you might see defensemen get more involved. On cue, here's Morgan Pastelli charging into the corner. Played it back to the forward, Heminger, and his high-rising shot snagged by Stewart. And he hangs on. In 30 seconds, Catholic Central will get a 3-minute power play. It's a part of that major penalty to Zane Austin of Huron Valley, which was never announced, so I'm not sure what the penalty was. See if I can find it on the live score sheet. I always forget that's an option now. But it is, courtesy of the folks at Game Sheet. It's a cool feature. So let's take a look here as Pastelli chases back for it. And the Cougars would be wise to try to hang on to this puck, wait for the power play to start. But Pastelli driving up into the attacking zone, has it poked off his stick. In on Stewart, who whacked it away to the far side wall. Scanlon tried to escape, and he will escape with the puck. Rifle shot, Aaron punched it to the corner. That was right on line from the neutral zone. Power play begins for the Cougars. Their second chance of the afternoon. But a shorthanded look, breakaway chance from in close. Scanlon denied by Aaron. Another save from the Cougars goalie, and he gloves this shot by Doherty and holds it. All right, so going back to the penalties, Zane Austin for Huron Valley, according to the game sheet, got a major for boarding. Also an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, as did Cohen Potter. Gage Potter got 2 for cross-checking. So that was the 2 that was on the board earlier. And now into the second period of play. An adjustment to the penalty clock right now, maybe? I don't know what. 15:28 to go in the second. 2:31 left on the Cougars' power play, but they got to start from their own end here. Kappinga whacked it over to the wall. Onstadt. The Cougars' leading point man this season with 6 from the blue line. Ten Harmsel cruising in, but lost the puck. Another lead pass for a potential break that scoots right by Voorhees, and it's an icing. Or no, excuse me. They called the icing, but Huron Valley is shorthanded. So that's an official's mistake, and the faceoff will be at center. They're throwing me off here. Not that I need the help today. I already called a goal for Huron Valley that wasn't, which I never got a chance to glance at that replay between periods, but I'm guessing Aaron plucked it off the goal line. That's at least 5 saves for Aaron in this game of the spectacular variety. Here comes Voorhees again, pushing the pace shorthanded, but he left the puck behind in the corner. Ten Harmsel couldn't control it. Wraparound chance by Weinberger. Weinberger gets it back. Hits Johnson. Shooting. Blocker save, Aaron. Weinberger again. As the Titans control it, down a man. The shot was blocked by Kappinga in the slot. His feed to Carlander. He couldn't handle it. Sloppy start to this power play for the Catholic Central Cougars. In front, Weinberger couldn't get a stick on that setup from Voorhees. Voorhees and Weinberger causing chaos at every turn, and the Cougars can't set up shop. Scanlon takes the puck back. All the way back into Cougars territory. Turned over. Scanlon whiffed on the shot. It rolled on him. Final minute of the power play. Carlander ahead. Dozema looks back. The Cougars are changing, and Heminger couldn't hold the puck in the zone. Back and forth we go. Popped loose by Gage Potter. He's out of the box after his penalty ran out. Pastelli, a shot, tipped on goal by Dozema. He pushed it to the low slot, but nobody there in a white jersey. Pastelli won it back. Out high. Under a half minute to go on this power play. Moore off the boards. Flushed to center by Huron Valley. The Titans have lost 3 in a row. They're fighting hard to make sure they don't make it 4, but they still trail it 1-0. 13 minutes to go in the second period. Lofted into the Cougar zone. Moore, though, bumped into Scanlon, lost the puck, but it came right back to Moore. Potter hooked a pass, intercepted and cleared by Gavin Hewitt. No icing this time, but the power play is over. Catholic Central didn't even generate a shot there on that 3-minute, one-man advantage. Moore forced back by Modica. Modica fell on top of Moore, and offside called against Huron Valley. Some Titans fans down to my right wanted a call there against Moore, but I didn't see what would have merited that. And more importantly, neither did the guys in stripes. 12:22 left in the second. Off the scramble, Gavorkian trying to hook up with Reynolds. Didn't work. Aaron stops the dump in behind his net. Onstad up the far wall. McLean chipped it. Right to a Titan, though. It's kind of funny they're wearing the colors of the Tennessee Titans, just realizing that. Borges to the middle. Reynolds had it bumped off his stick. Cohen Potter just hammered Mikey Yee. Borges floats to the outside. Centering pass by the Titans. Loose in front and shot out of play by Modica. Wide open as he went backhand to forehand, but he pitchforked it right over the glass. 11:37 to go in the second. Still just the 1 goal on the board. The Cougars have played nearly 4.5 periods in this showcase. They've scored twice. The opponent has scored once. And again, the West Michigan Hockey Showcase, presented to you by our title sponsor. That's Baking Steel. Stay out of the penalty box on pizza night. Trust Baking Steel with a perfect crust every time. The Baking Steel is a power play pizza stone made out of ultra conductive steel. It turns any home oven into a pizza making machine. Calling on for Catholic Central. Hands over to Jensen for the dump in. Around the horn it goes. Gavorkian bouncing puck toward the front. Stewart kicked it away. I believe that's his first save of the period. And the Cougars try to get back to work in the offensive zone. Jensen kicks it to the corner. Sped around beyond the reach of Gavorkian. It's tipped over his stick by Weinberger. Free in the Huron Valley zone. Roland slugs it ahead. Jensen latches onto it, but couldn't get it past Calvin Langolf. It's Gavorkian's turn to lift it off the glass. Roland up the near side. Berkmeyer clipped it across, but right into the clutches of Langolf. He iced the puck with 10:38 to go in the second period. Looking across the facility, and the Bay Reps have an early 1-0 lead against Forest Hills Northern Eastern. The Bird Dogs earned their first win of the season last night. I was on the call for that one too. They beat Capital City, a ranked team in D1, by the score of 3-1. Also yesterday, local teams getting wins. Forest Hills Central against this Huron Valley squad. Caledonia blew out Salem 6-1. And Grand Rapids Christian outlasted Big Rapids 6-5 in the highest scoring game of day one of the two-day showcase. Second year for this event. Borges reached behind him, got a piece of that puck. Now he gallops in, centering, and I think Aaron kicked that out. He did. But I'm not sure if the shot actually came from Scanlon or it might have ricocheted off a Cougar defender. Either way, that puck was headed into the net before Aaron booted it out with the right toe. Postelli leading the charge. Postelli in front for Potter. Couldn't get it by Stewart, and he sits on top of it, does the Titans netminder, as we've got a penalty coming against Huron Valley. A battle after the whistle. Isaac Kappinga, you can see his smile through his protective cage. He's laughing about something with Parker Moore. But the only penalty from that scrum issued to the Titans. Lucas Brethauer to the box with just under 10 to go in the second period. And with the only goal of this game coming during the power play, maybe this is what it'll take for the Cougars to open up a 2-goal lead. Tie up, and the Cougars win that puck battle. Carlander centering, Kappinga, great save, Stewart. He kept it out just barely. That puck was inches from the goal line. Carlander recollects as the Cougars recycle. Ten Harmsel, fan on the pass, but it still got through to Carlander. Back to Carson Carlander. He plays triggerman over to Onstad. High shot, juggled and caught by Stewart. Similar play to how Onstad scored yesterday against Bay Reps. Carlander found him open at that right circle. Carson Carlander is an effective power play distributor working from the left boards. He's been good this season in that role. Still a 1-0 game. Kappinga against Voorhees. Voorhees wins it this time, but the battle remains in the offensive zone, and the Cougars are back on it. Another penalty on the way against the Titans as Onstad was crushed from behind. I think it was by Gavin Hewitt. The Titans touch the puck. It'll be a 2-man advantage for Catholic Central. And yes, it is Hewitt to the box. He takes the skate of shame with 9:02 left in the middle period. It's either checking from behind or a cross check, one of the two. Doesn't matter which. All that matters is that the Titans are down 2 men. $1:16 to go on the initial penalty to Brethauer. So that's how long Catholic Central will enjoy a 2-man advantage unless they score, which of course would be their preferable outcome. The puck slammed to the side wall. First on it is Cooper Moss. Moss, the senior, lost control. Weinberger saucers it all the way down. Aaron sets it up for Ten Harmsel to carry out. Over the blue line, head up for Ten Harmsel. Smooth move to the backhand, looking to center it from out behind. Left it behind the net, though, and cleared by Weinberger. That looked promising for a moment, but Catholic Central could never get it set up. And by the way, that was not a minor penalty. That's a major penalty to Gavin Hewitt. It's boarding. 5 for boarding. Makes the opportunity even more profound. Capping a shot, save made by Stewart, and Carlander couldn't knock in the rebound. It skipped right by him. And the Cougars get a change. Second major penalty of the game against Huron Valley. The Titans struggling with their discipline this afternoon, but it's still just a 1-goal game. More to Heminger. Heminger back against the grain. Ten Harmsel shot, and he missed. Heminger couldn't get on the rebound. Now he does. Moore down low, wide open. Gage Potter scores! Off the setup from Dozema. Two-man advantage goal. Cougars lead 2-0. They ride tonight to the guitar bite. Gage Potter has another one. His second goal of the year. Catholic Central capitalizes with 7:44 to go in the second. Give Dozema the primary assist. The Cougars got the puck down low, and when you're down two men, there's only so much you can do. Only so many players you can cover, but the Titans got caught out high. It was a 2-on-1 down low, and Stewart couldn't push over to make the spectacular save. Power play continues, though, as the major penalty is still on the board. A clearance by Breathauer. All the way down it goes. Aaron stops it behind his net. Postelli driving in for a backhand save. Oh, Stewart made a spectacular stop on Gage Potter. Nearly 2 goals in under a minute for him. Poked off his stick to center. Heminger recovers it. Over to Postelli. Backhand hoist. Right in on the Titans' net. Dozema keeps it in the zone. Huron Valley couldn't clear. 3:15 left on that major penalty. 7:16 to go in the second. Nate Dell, the captain of the Titans, can't clear. He had Voorhees at center, couldn't get it to him. More wristing, deflected, and over the glass, just barely, into the screen. I believe Kate Heminger will get a secondary assist on the Gage Potter goal. And the penalty clock is still running. The regular clock is still running. We're having some trouble in this game with the scoreboard. Well, I guess the most important numbers up there are 2 and 0. Catholic Central leads it 2-0. This is Cougar Puck Radio. Thanks for joining another live broadcast. Next week, hoping to bring you both games from the D3 Challenge up in Gaylord, as Catholic Central will challenge, pun intended, Flint Powers Catholic on Friday at 2 p.m. And then the Jeffers Jets next Saturday. Jeffers, co-op squad from the Upper Peninsula, as we try to get the scoreboard recalibrated. We've had our struggles over here in this game. It happens. Easy for me to say. I'm up here just talking. So we're settled in. 6:35 to go in the period. 10 Harmsel takes the face-off win for Catholic Central. Carlander deals it back. 10 Harmsel goes down low on Stott, redirected off his backhand side, and he just missed. Pretty setup though. Kappinga powers his way to the front of the net, backhand pass, and 10 Harmsel unable to pull it in. His cross-rink delivery away from Onstott, and shoved all the way down the boards by the Titans. 2 to go on the major penalty. The Cougars scored on the 2-man advantage, but they still have a chance on the 1-man advantage. But driven out of the zone by Scanlon, and Catholic Central's got to come 200 feet with it. 5:50 remaining in the period. 10 Harmsel on a one-on-one joust with Yee. Carlander, one of the alternate captains for the Cougars, couldn't get the pass through Yee cleanly, so he's got to fight to win it back. Pass it on over to Moss. Near side feed to Onstott. Sprays some snow on the quick stop. Pass to 10 Harmsel. Rister was blocked. Carlander angles it back into the corner. It got through Alex Johnson for the Titans. Carlander, wrist shot. Saved by Stewart. Loose behind the goal. Kappinga turning away from pressure. Left it side of the net, Moss, and shoved just right through the crease by Onstad. Kappinga with 1 minute left on the power play. Moss centering. Kappinga couldn't get much on that shot as he was defended by Scanlon. Front of that, Kappinga backhand. And where is it? It is not a goal, says the referee. Kappinga thinks it's in. Stewart was back inside the goal. I never saw the puck after Kappinga's initial chance hopped into the crease. But the whistle sounds, and for the second time, the Cougars are denied a goal when they believe they've scored on a goal-mouth scramble. Are they saying that Stewart got pushed into the net by a Cougar? Perhaps that's the call. Kyle Marchand wants an explanation, I know that much. And he calls the referee over. It's the same ref that waved off what Cooper Moss thought was a goal back in the first period. So the Catholic Central attackers are having to fight for everything they get today. After the face-off, Moore down to a knee, but he couldn't put it on target. Dozema takes it back, though. Gage Potter out of the corner. Moore. Oh, he looked off Heminger and then shot it toward the goal, but Stewart made the save. Another glove stop from Henry Stewart. Just a sophomore, playing well for the Titans. Both goalies have been good. 36 seconds showing on that penalty time to Huron Valley. 5-minute major for boarding, almost over. Pastelli having a hard time settling the puck. Pastelli from his back foot shot it in off a Huron Valley stick and out over the glass. Voorhees blocked that one. Late stages, second period, and Catholic Central just continues to push. For a while, Huron Valley was dictating terms earlier in this period. That's changed now with the help of another major power play. And the linesman telling Dozema and Breathauer to separate until the drop of the puck. And there it is. Dozema gets his stick in there. Dozema just set up Gage Potter for a power play goal. The Cougars have 2 PPGs today. Moore, center point pass to Pastelli, risking it just wide. Stewart again ends up in the net. The Cougars continue to bang away, but no goal. 8 seconds remaining on the power play. And another stoppage. The flow of play in this game has been halting at times. Failed clear by Huron Valley, but it lands right on the stick of Levi Weinberger, and he sends it the rest of the way. Power play is over, so Catholic Central comes up empty on that one. They've had 5 opportunities in this game. They're 2 for 5, but when you have those majors, it doesn't really tell the whole story just saying 5 opportunities. It's been more about the amount of time they've been on the power play. So with the 5 penalties to Huron Valley, 2 of those of the 5-minute variety, and that's more like just doing the quick math. That's an extra 4 minutes of power play time. So 14 minutes of power play time for the Cougars. Reynolds to the front, deflected in! Parker Moore made a beeline to the goal, and Reynolds put it right on his tape. 3-0 Catholic Central. Parker Moore gets another, his second goal of the year. More goals from defensemen for the Cougars. These guys can do it all. And Reynolds earns another assist. His second of the season. 3:10 to go. And the Cougars add another in the second period. That's a big one, because it felt at least mildly disappointing they didn't get another goal on that long power play. Well, they get one right after the power play. That'll work. It doesn't matter when you get it, just that you do get it. Onstad drives the puck over the glass. And that was deflected apparently, so it'll stay in the offensive zone. Moss won the faceoff. Carlander couldn't force it through. Carlander gets it right back. Another shot blocked. Gavin Hewitt this time. He's out of the box after the major penalty. He gloved down that Cougars pass. Delayed offside. Catholic Central tags up. And the Titans fire it right through the Cougars bench all the way to the back wall on the far wing. I was saying yesterday, this used to be an Olympic-sized sheet on the east side of this building, but now there's just a lot of space back behind the player benches as they just move the boards in 15 feet from that side. There's a couple of locker rooms over there, one for Caledonia and one for Forest Hills Central. Dozema pounces on the loose puck. His pass across, picked by Joyner and cleared. No icing on the shoot-in by Onstad. 2:23 left in the second. Catholic Central has extended its lead to 3-0 here in the second. Scanlon to the far corner on his dump in. Onstad's on it. But Scanlon takes over for the Titans. Stepping out, but couldn't get through a couple of layers of Cougars defense. Onstad tries to corral that rolling puck. He does. Heminger, no, excuse me, that's Moss. 14, not 4, behind the net. Gevorkian, joined by Gage Potter. The puck squirts far corner. Poke to Dell. Dell, stolen by Kappinga. And in front goes Kappinga after his shot was deflected. Heminger wanted to center it. Scanlon, the pass from the boards, right up the middle to Borges. And he was just trying to dump that puck in. 1:18 left in the second. 10 Armsel, long lead pass. It was redirected, no icing. The Cougars in after it. Kappinga on his backhand. Couldn't hold it in as it was pushed past him. Moore sends it right back into the mix after the Cougars cleared the zone. One touch pass from Weinberger. Far side, Voorhees dropped it. Weinberger, top of the circle. 50 seconds left. Kappinga trying to make the safe play, and he does. Scoot it through center. Coming onto it, Heminger. Backhand, forehand. Oh, it went just wide of the net. In behind. I thought for a moment Heminger had Stewart beaten, but Stewart got a piece of it. Voorhees to the surging Weinberger. Right back to Voorhees. Doesn't work out. Modica, cross ring pass, intercepted by Ten Harmsel, who scored the Cougars' first goal today. 20 seconds to go in the period. Ten Harmsel to the outside. He's got Dozema making a move. Wrap around, saves Stewart, and no further play. 12 seconds remaining in the second period. Just a lesson in tenacity today for Catholic Central. They've had a couple of goals wiped off the board for various reasons. They couldn't quite get it together on a couple of major penalty power plays, but they just keep working. They've been rewarded. Pastelia shot, deflection, save Stewart, loose in front, push to the corner. Moss tried to center. Final seconds of the period. Carlander wedged off the puck and cleared by the Titans. And Dozema and Doherty get their sticks up on each other. Doherty drops his stick and says, "It wasn't me," as players are separated after the buzzer. 1 period to go in what's been at times a very contentious game. Hard fought for sure, and Catholic Central trying to keep frustrating the Huron Valley Titans. The Cougars have won 3 in a row. The Cougars have won 4 in a row. The Titans have lost 3 in a row. So potential for more frustration in the third. It'll be on the Cougars to keep their heads and not give the Titans any additional power play opportunities, at least ones that are unnecessary. So I'm sure that'll be part of the discussion in the Cougars locker room after 2 periods. Join us for the third, won't you, after this break, here from Patterson at the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. Well, as that second period ended, Jackson Dozema was penalized for cross-checking. So the Cougars go short. And Huron Valley has a power play for just the second time today. Actually, this might be their first power play because the only other penalty was issued to the Potter brothers. The only other penalties were issued to the Potter brothers in that first period fracas, and those didn't lead to a power play for Huron Valley. So here's Kappinga trying to drive it out. It's held in at the point by Dell, handing off Scanlon, wristing, blocked by Kappinga. Moss trying to throw it ahead to himself, couldn't do it. Scanlon passing, redirected, and where's the puck? The Titans are celebrating. No, it stays out. Second time today, the Titans thought they had scored, but they do not on the deflection by Weinberger in front. My goodness, Jacob Aaron did it again. He somehow kept that puck out. That's as close as you can get. He was reaching for it. Chance again off the scramble, and they do score. This one goes in. Lucas Brethauer, the defenseman, went to the net, but he points over to Levi Weinberger, who converts the power play goal, apparently, as he celebrates at the bench. 16:05 to go in the third period, and Weinberger, the top gun for Huron Valley, gets another, and the Titans have a lifeline. 3-1, still a long way to go. 16:05 remaining in the third. Well, it's been a day of power play goals. The Cougars got 2, now 1 for Huron Valley. Assist to Lucas Brethauer, but Weinberger gets the goal. Over to the far wing. So the Cougars have to stay on their P's and Q's here. Stay on those details. The Titans had plenty of chances in the first, could not score against Jacob Aaron. Now they get one early in the third period after a second period in which the Cougars control play largely. Gage Potter gets in on the forward check, and the turnover eventually forced by Parker Moore. Moore's got a goal today. Weinberger, that's his 9th goal of the season in game number 9. Anytime you're around a goal a game pace, yep, that's pretty good. That's my expert opinion on that. Scanlon, and it's lifted back to the Titans line. Here comes Cohen Potter shooting as he tested Stewart, but Stewart stood his ground. Pop through the top of the crease by McLean. Reynolds on the puck. He's got an assist today. 14:40 remaining in the third. Far boards, Onstad holds it. Yee could not clear. The Titans try the near side. That's not going to work either. McLean guiding it, trying to get it to Cohen Potter. It rattled off the skate of Carson Rowland. And does power it out with the help of Scanlon. Onstad, great pass. Connecting onto the blade of Cohen Potter. He's checked as he tried to meander his way in over the blue line. Made a move, but still got rammed. Gavin Hewitt, the pull-up move, just inside the blue line for Huron Valley. The Titans have lost 3 in a row. The Cougars have won 4 in a row. Scanlon driving, centering off a stick. Hopped over Borges's awaiting blade. Inside cut from Dell. Power play coming against the, for the Titans, excuse me, as Dell drew the call. So that's now 2 power plays in a row for Huron Valley. McLean to the box this time. This one's for hooking. $13:40 remaining in the third. This Huron Valley team can score some goals. We've seen it this year. They put up 8 against Hudsonville, 4 against Livonia Stevenson, 5 against M1 Unified. Near wing Voorhees tried to make a seam pass, deflected by Pastelli. Out it goes. Cooper Moss chasing shorthanded. Moss in the corner, hoping to kill some time. But taken back by Nate Dell, the senior forward. Very nifty on his skates. Settles in behind the goal, emerges out the other side. Still looking for an option. Comes open shot, save Aaron. And no rebound, just as importantly. Huron Valley got off to that 5-0 start. Since then, losses to Flint Powers, Trenton, and yesterday Forest Hill Central in the shootout. Catholic Central, meanwhile, dropped its first 2, but has now won 4 straight, including a shootout win yesterday against Bay Reps. Point shot rejected by Onstadt. Kappinga on the chase. And he takes it away, at least for now, as he battles along the boards against Borges and Hewitt. It's like a wrestling match back there. Kappinga got tied up a bit by Hewitt, but play allowed to continue on. Looked like both players were holding a bit, so the referee let things play out. More the poke check at the line, and more the clear. He spanks it out of the zone and then has a few words for Carson Rowland. They continue to chat it up. 40 seconds remaining on the power play. Bad pass ahead, icing against the Titans. Great penalty kills so far from Catholic Central. They've given up very little, just the shot from Dell right at the beginning of the advantage. But since then, so far, so good. I mentioned before the game that Catholic Central was awarded a 5th win because their opening night opponent, Gabriel Richard, out of Riverview, self-reported an ineligible player they had in the lineup that night. So that's a forfeit. Aaron makes a stop on the deflection by Voorhees, Killian Voorhees. On his backhand side, couldn't get much on that tip. It just floated off his stick and right into the interlocking C's on Aaron's chest. 12 minutes to go in regulation. 22 seconds on the power play. Aaron makes a stop off the face-off. Breathauer again going ahead off the draw. He nearly pulled off what he did last time when the goalmouth scramble led to the first goal of the night for Huron Valley. I guess it's the night. You can call it that. We're past 5 o'clock now. Guided back to the point by Weinberger. Wrister by Scanlon missed. Or pardon, that was Voorhees. Here's Scanlon gathering the puck in. Swoops through center. Pulled down by Moore. The Titans bench screaming for a penalty. They're not going to get it. Power play's over. Catholic Central has killed it off. Still a 2-goal lead. Kappinga gets his knee in there to try to shield off the Titans attacker. That was Weinberger. Kappinga knocked down his check. Voorhees goes flying. Icing against Catholic Central again. 11-12 remaining in the period and in regulation time. Final game on this rink coming up soon. That's Caledonia versus Big Rapids. The Scots are trying to go a perfect 2-0 on the weekend. Big Rapids aiming to avoid an 0-2 mark on their trip down here to GR. They lost 6-5 to GR Christian yesterday. Langolf, lead pass, does not connect. Pastelli takes it back for Catholic Central. Up through center ice. Heminger redirects it. The more time the Cougars spend down to our right, the better for them. Modica. Top line back out there, though, for Huron Valley. Or excuse me, the second line is Yee. Punched it behind the goal, Mikey Yee. Battling two Cougars. Lifted away from him by Cohen Potter. The pass goes behind the goal. Out the far side. Kept in by Doherty on his backhand, but he overskated. Back with it, Gage Potter. Left it for Cohen Potter. Going right to the goal. And he couldn't get the shot away against Stewart. Gage Potter retrieves. Kevorkian shot. And that hop wide to the near boards. That was off a leg. No icing. Kevorkian's got to skate it out from behind his goal. Watch out. Smoked by Zane Austin, who's already got one major penalty to his name in this game. That was for boarding back in the first. No call there, though. Rule to be legal. I think that was the right call. Scanlon. Dished it in behind. Kevorkian goes to work there, but the puck squirts in front and cleared on the carom by Heminger. All the way down, another icing. 9:38 to play. Entering desperation time for Huron Valley. The Titans continue to fight. You knew they would. They don't want to make this trip and head back across the state winless, but that might be their fate. 10 Armsel taking advantage of the space up the middle, but ran into trouble there at the blue line. Whipped in on net by Onstadt. Stewart made the save. Titans get the clearance. Moss helps it along. No, he didn't. Apparently not touched. Moss is saying, I did shoot in. I don't know what the call was there. Well, the call is icing, but I didn't see that. I was almost certain that Moss shot the puck in from well ahead of the red line. Dozema at the faceoff dot. Won it, but from the far corner, Nate Dell takes over. Wrister by Dell. That missed the goal. Scanlon recycles it behind the net. Scanlon kicks it to his stick at the faceoff circle as he picked off the clearing attempt. Scanlon's shot. Blocker saved by Aaron. He had that one measured the whole way. Up the near side wall. Onstadt. And he lifts it into the screen. Face-off upcoming in Cougars real estate. Goals in this game for Casey Ten Harmsel, Gage Potter, and Parker Moore. 2 more goals for defensemen for Catholic Central. Moore's got 2 on the year. That was Ten Harmsel's first. So 4 of the 6D on the line chart have scored at least once this year for Catholic Central. Onstadt has 4. Pastelli 1, Moore 2, Ten Harmsel 1. There's another D-man. Kevorkian getting up in the play, and he nudged it toward the front of the net. Stewart covers it up. Didn't want to take any chances trying to move that puck as we're past the midway point of period number 3. 8:24 to go. Just 2 games left in the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. I told you Caledonia versus Big Rapids here. On the other rink, undefeated Trenton takes on East Grand Rapids. That's scheduled for a 5:45 puck drop. Probably will be closer to 6 if I had to guess. I hope it is. I got to move my equipment across the way. Meager carried the puck to center, but just barely for the Titans. McLean pushes it right back in, but it's offside against the Cougars. Well, before the Christmas break, Catholic Central, I mentioned, has a trip upcoming to Gaylord for the D3 Challenge, the annual journey north to the Otsego County Sportsplex. I'll have both games for you on Cougar Puck Radio. First time I'll be able to bring you both. Voorhees stops inside the line, looks across, makes the pass. Hewitt delivered it to the corner. Weinberger, and again the puck goes over the glass. This game has not been the most fluid one in the history of hockey, I'll say that. A lot of stoppages. And for the Cougars, they'd love to see it go the other way. They want to see that clock run down, but just feels like this game has taken forever to finish. That's just fine by the Titans, especially when they have an offensive zone face-off, which they will here. At the dot, Scanlon against Dozema. It's a battle for the puck. Moss couldn't get it out, but the shot from Meager didn't get through. Lead pass, Moss. Cooper behind the defense. Missed the goal to the left. Hard wrist shot. No dekes there. He just let her rip. And it was a couple of inches outside left. Scanlon slaloming through center. Austin Scanlon stopped by Jacob Aaron, but a penalty is coming. Unsportsmanlike conduct, I think, is the call. But who's it against? It's against Catholic Central. Dozema goes to the box. Third penalty of this third period. Second one committed by Dozema. Third against the Cougars in general since the start of the third. And the Titans have already taken advantage of one of those power plays to cut it to a 2-goal margin. Right off the draw. Shot there. Breathauer centers. Breathauer's been a terror off these faceoffs. Cleared by Onstadt. You're in good hands with Onstadt in that case. Reynolds digging in after it on the forecheck. Now Reynolds has to scoot on back as the Titans hustle it into the attacking zone. The pass goes under the stick of Breathauer, who's listed as a D, but playing forward on these power plays at least. Centering feed, tapped away from Weinberger. Onstadt couldn't get it quite out, but Reynolds finishes the job. Jack Reynolds heads to the bench after putting in his shift on the penalty kill. An effective one at that. Scanlon, he's played a ton today for the Titans. Settles into the corner. The pass out to Dell. Dell to Austin Scanlon. His pass blocked. Moss gloves it down. There he goes again. Another short-handed chance. This time a save by Stewart. Picked off by Carlander. In front, Moss backhand. He scores! The third try cashes in for Cooper Moss from Carlander. 4-1 Cougars. Welcome to the good life. Moss gets his 4th of the year, and none bigger, essentially putting it away with 6:04 left. How about that? 2 breakaways for Moss. He couldn't score, but with a little help from his friend Karsten Carlander, who intercepted the headman pass from Huron Valley, and he fed it right out in front. Moss was all alone. Here's a backhand score, though. It isn't over yet. Power play goal, the steal, and the stash from Vince Modica. So it's 4-2. Huron Valley gets one back, and that is a power play goal. Short-handed goal for Moss. Power play goal for Modica. 5:52 left. And the Cougars are not out of the woods yet. Two goals scored, roughly 20 seconds apart. Actually, less than that, 15 seconds apart. Keep up if you can. It's suddenly 4-2. After all that, still a 2-goal game. Gage Potter checks his man. Cade Heminger follows on. The pull-up, great move, backhand. Stewart makes the save, and he pins the puck down at the far side post. 5:31 remaining. Well, if you thought it was going to be a cruise to the finish line, I guess we were mistaken. The Titans continue to kick and fight and stay within range. Still a handful of minutes to go. Huron Valley listed as one of the top 10 teams in D3 in the most recent poll by Michigan High School Hockey Hub, although they'll probably drop out of the top 10 after losing 3 straight coming into today. Ten Armsel under some pressure, made a sharp pass between a couple of Titans. Heminger, though, couldn't handle. Dell breaks back in. Dell turning. Good pass to the middle, but Weinberger unable to flag it down cleanly. Weinberger catches up to it. Behind the goal, Voorhees. Voorhees, Weinberger, and Dell. A potent top line on the ice for Huron Valley. Dell, though, spun himself into the ice. He fell right down. One too many moves. Back come the Cougars, capping a 3-man rush. Left the puck behind, though, just inside the blue line. Voorhees coughed it right back up to Catholic Central. Gavorkian lost control to Dell, who continues to push. Dell looks back. Gavorkian checks him. Centering past Scanlon off the bench. Here he comes. Drifted off his stick. Cappinga clears. Out to center. Roland knocks it down with 4:20 left. Roland off the wall. Scanlon sends it all the way behind the Cougars' net. Postelli ducks under a check from Borges. Up the far boards it goes. Reynolds couldn't drag it, though. Postelli on it. Borges runs him off. Loose high in the zone. Hooked by Joyner into the corner. Yee behind the net with it. Postelli first on it. Reynolds between his own legs to get it out. And Reynolds trying to force the turnover against Alex Johnson. Gavorkian hacks it. McLean couldn't settle the bouncing biscuit. Scanlon will for Huron Valley. Scales it into the near corner. Icing against the Titans. 3:26 remaining. Well, it's been our pleasure to bring you the West Michigan Hockey Showcase. Of course, presented by Baking Steel, our title sponsor. Shout out to Baking Steel, the essential tool that transforms any home oven into a legendary pizza making machine. Like I said, proud headline sponsor of the second annual West Michigan Hockey Showcase. And yes, the plan is to make it a yearly thing here in early December. Bring some of the best from across the state to challenge some of the best from West Michigan. 60-foot wrister by Onstadt. Patted out by Stewart. Under 3 to play. 4-2, Catholic Central leads. 2 goals in the third from Huron Valley to make it interesting. Here's a chance. Streaking down the wing, Weinberger, but he missed on the near side post. Looking to throw a dart. Blocker side against Aaron, but just a couple of inches off. Austin finessed it to center. Modica, who has a goal in this third period, played it deep, side of the net. Aaron wanted to freeze it. Ten Harmsel, though, has to take it away as it was still loose. Wrister from the point was blocked. Scanlon trying to pull it out of his skates, and he couldn't make it happen. On the setup from Dell. Gage Potter, can he catch up to it? No, he cannot. From Brother Cohen, nearly worked out. But icing again, whistled against Catholic Central. 2:04 left. And a timeout has been called. Huron Valley calls timeout. Figured it was probably them to rest up some of their top players and send them back out there Some early results today. Granville defeated Houghton 4-3. That was the only game from the morning on the West Rink. Forest Hill Central, in the game that we had here on this side of the facility, they blew out Salem 9-2. Forest Hill Central wins twice on the weekend. Capital City outlasted Grand Rapids Christian, so the Caps don't come away empty-handed. They win 5-3. And as we speak, Forest Hills Northern Eastern pushing for a 2-win weekend as they're taking on Bay Reps, but Bay Reps had a 1-0 lead on last glance when I was over there during the first intermission. All right, timeout over. The Titans back on the ice, and their net is empty, as I suspected. Henry Stewart to the bench. 6 attackers out there for the boys in dark blue. Catholic Central 2 minutes away from collecting their 5th win in a row. The moment of truth coming on the faceoff. Dozema scoots it out to the line, held there by Scanlon, turned it into traffic, redirected wide. Bank play from below the goal line and cleared by Carlander. Borges tried to get a bounce off of Aaron, but it went right to Carson Carlander, who has a crucial assist in this third period. Led to Cooper Moss's goal. Moss wipes out Dell at the boards, but the Titans are into the attacking zone. Voorhees swirls it in front and punched just wide. I think Borges got the stick on it. Borges again, side of the net, off the body of Aaron, and to the end boards. Carlander hacking at it. High flip, does get out to center ice. 1:17 left. The Cougars get a line change. Down a man because the Titans have pulled their goalie. Gage Potter searching for the puck. In his skates, it's pushed over the blue line. Killian Voorhees in the corner. Smashed by Moore. Under a minute to go. Scanlon shooting, save, rebound, another save by Aaron. Spectacular with the glove, robbing Breathauer. Breathauer has been all over the front of the Cougars' net in the third period. He set up one goal, could not score there. How about the big man, Jacob Aaron, in net for the Cougars? Keeps it at 4-2 with 52 seconds remaining. He was sprawled on the ice and still made the glove save. And the puck just stuck in his big trapper. Airtight Aaron again. Hard shot from Dell, missed the target, high and wide. Scanlon shot, Aaron again. Hangs on to it. Well, Aaron's got to be one of your 3 stars if you are picking those, I would imagine. He kept the Titans from breaking through early, and he's largely keeping them at arm's length in the third as well. Weinberger helps it back to the point. Gavin Hewitt played it to the corner. Modica around the wood. 10 Harmsel bumps bodies with Scanlon from behind the goal. Trying to center that was Modica. Cappinga ripped it away. 20 seconds to go. Cougars get the clear, and that should do it. Carlander couldn't knock it down at center. Nudged it over the line. Centering play from Modica. Intercepted by Cappinga. Up the far boards. Carlander shoves it to center. 5 seconds left. And that's going to do it. Dumped in by the Titans. Cougars win. Cougars win. 5 in a row for Catholic Central. And they mob their goalie. Airtight Aaron gets it done again. 4-2 your final over the Huron Valley Titans. Catholic Central 6-1 on the season, as they get a shorthanded goal in the third period to cap it off and send the Titans to their fourth consecutive loss. 2-win weekend for Catholic Central here at Patterson Ice Center in the West Michigan Hockey Showcase presented by Baking Steel. Your goal getters for Catholic Central, 2 more from D-men, Casey Ten Harmsel, Parker Moore, along with Gage Potter, his second of the season, and Cooper Moss. I mentioned the shorty in the third. Special teams, goaltending, yeah, it's a nice formula, and it's working out so far for the Cougars, who get a standing ovation from their fans who turned up to watch their team play at what you could call their home away from home at Patterson Ice Center. And a salute for those fans. Next broadcast on Cougar Puck Radio will be next Friday up in Gaylord from the Otsego County Sportsplex when Catholic Central challenges perennial power, Flint Powers Catholic. Hope to talk to you then. 2 o'clock face-off from way up north. One more time, this is Matt Gajtka here from the West Michigan Hockey Showcase saying goodnight, God bless, and I'll talk to you soon from Gaylord.